So back where it started with Alex, he's off to Shelton State down in Tuscaloosa, really close to Alabama, University of Alabama, trying to get his way in there. Just detecting minor lies, maybe a little white lie or whatever, but I caught him in a big one, went down there and got him, and that was the beginning stages, probably just, some pot and some different things like that. And so got him back home, got him working. We thought, it was just, once again, it was the beginning stages, and I think it was a lot of experimental stuff with going on with him. And so as we started going through the rehab cycle, I began to learn. I thought I learned everything there was to know, and I didn't want to know anything that I was learning, but I just figured out a lot of it, but none of it was working. None of it was taken, or it didn't seem to be. We found out he was doing pot and just not going to school. There were some, I don't know, Oxycontin quickly got into that picture. So we found out this, and a lot of times through third parties. His sister was instrumental in sharing some of this. So it quickly became, okay, he's back there sleeping in the back seat. Is that just sleeping or just drugs or whatever? We were so, like most people, we just didn't know squat, didn't know anything about it, and yet something wasn't right. So rehab, or first counselors, then they suggest the rehab. That's the path that we started to go down, and then we did the rehab thing with the family involved, and and heard some hard things, saw some horrible things, especially over in Mississippi. And so once again, it was just that process of year after year after year. It just came, except, I don't know, exponential maybe isn't a good word, but sort of. So the number of rehabs, once we got going, it just seemed like they were just stacking on top of another, and worked our way up to 10. I think Gulf Breeze was the 11th rehab that Alice had gone through. Some more extensive than others. Every one with the promise and the hope that it was going to be the one. And I think it's fair to say, I think his mom and I went into it with that optimism, with that hope and prayer that this would be the one, this would be the thing that would turn the corner. Never happened. So how Gulf Breeze came into the picture. Now, there's a divorce in here, and so he's with his mom. I'm out of the house, but I'm the guy I've put him on the street twice. His mom wouldn't, but wanted to, so I got to do that. And it was a little bit of a wake-up call for Alex, but yet, still, nothing's working. Nothing's taking. It was to the point, finally, with his mom, that you're going to be homeless somewhere. Where do you want to be homeless? Because you cannot stay here. And he said, I want to be at the beach. And I think Alex discovered Gulf Breeze recovery, and I don't know if he talked his mom into it, but there was a joint thing, and I was involved in that too, because I was also involved in this, something they almost did out west, which was almost like, you've got to be kidding me. Please, tell me this isn't going to happen. So I was all for it based on what limited knowledge I had of it, but it was pretty much Alex that discovered it. His mom thought it would be worth a shot, and away we go. How it started with Gulf Breeze and me was that he was down here through his mom, and I knew he was here, but I didn't have any, I didn't bring him down, I didn't get involved in that. Now when it came time, there were some discussions while he was here with me on the phone. What's really interesting to me is I knew something was different. I really did, and we talked about that, but I had wanted to know that in the past, but this was different, and I could tell it was different, and so he wanted me to come down for his graduation. We were trying to get him set up in an apartment and get him going. He didn't know what he was going to do. He thought landscape or something, but he wanted to be down in this area, but he was ready to take that leap of faith and step out there, and I felt like he could do it. So we got him set up with a car, an apartment, all that kind of thing, and I remember real clearly sitting at this little graduation party at Gulf Breeze. There's Barnett, there's Reed, there's the staff. He's well loved. And it was really something. It was just, and I said something real simple, basically a thank you to them, because I felt like then, if he were homeless, he could be clean. I had not felt that way before. When Alex and I would talk, he explained a little bit about what was going on at Gulf Breeze and what was making a difference. And in his struggling way and my struggling way to understand, we both kind of fought through the 3 principles and the fact that it wasn't a 12-step program, but yet it was different. And the big light that went on for him was also going on for me, in the sense that, and he just said, I had this insight, and it was almost like, well, it wasn't almost, it was just this awakening. And I can hear it in his voice, I can just tell it, because it's just different. And he said, it's so simple that it's profound, and I believe that. And as we've talked since, I have a better understanding of it. It's just different. When you're going through, as a parent, through the different rehabs, and you're listening to the professionals, and you're talking about CAT scans and brain scans and receptors that don't connect and all this stuff, I thought, and I told many of my friends, I know more about this than I've ever wanted to know. And I know that Alex will have this sitting on his shoulder, screaming in his ear for the rest of his life. And I worry that he will not be able to deal with that. But that's wrong. It's just wrong. I believe it now. It's I don't know. I don't know if that self-perpetuates itself with all of that talk and all of that knowledge and all of the scientific aspect of it. But the main thing is, you're sick, you're an addict, and you're going to be that way to the day you die, and you're just a step away from being right back there again. I don't feel that way now. Well, as a layperson, it's still hard to understand this completely. But here's what I know. He was dead, now he's alive. And I've told him, I said, that hope is priceless. It's just priceless to me and all of my friends and that know what we've been through. They go, he's just what's it like? And I said, well, it's Alex. It wasn't Alex before. That I know that for sure. I guess I'd like for a parent that is where I was, is to know that there is hope. And I heard that a lot, 10 different times. This is a different kind of hope. It represents itself in a different approach. And now I just know, I really do have this sense that Alex, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He doesn't have to wear this yoke, that says, get ready, because here it comes again. If you even slip up in the least bit, better go to all these meetings, better do all that, better study, better live with this, what's the word for this, I don't want to say addiction, just live with this millstone around your neck. That's the way I see it, It's gone. That's gone. I want another parent to know there's another way. And for me, this was it. And he's walking around proof, because I felt that way before, and it didn't pan out, So when it was really bad, at its worst for Alex, the best way to describe it would be, you just couldn't believe anything. Everything was a lie. And that's when he's functioning. There are times when he wasn't functioning in full-blown heroin addiction. Probably no idea of the theft and the things that it takes to make that continue. So yeah, it was black, it was bleak, and he missed out on so many wonderful things that were going on during that time in our lives. So yeah, I feel like I saw him when he was about as flat as you can be, as down as you can be. And I'll have to say, well, to me it wasn't Alex. You know, I hate to think that I gave up on him, but I feel like I did, in the sense that you've got to figure this out. We can't give this to you. You've got to find this. And these rehabs are saying that they will give this to you if you'll accept it. There was a time at one rehab where he was clean, and we had this kind of conversation, and I remember thinking, it's Alex. He's back. But it just didn't last. It didn't last at all, as soon as he got out. So I mean, physically, Alex is like, when he was sick, he's just wasted away and lethargic, and it's horrible. It wasn't him, And when he's healthy, he's buff and he's a good-looking guy, and everybody likes him, and it's like a night and day type difference. You don't want to believe that, and you want to see the healthy Alex, and so you convince yourself that, well, maybe this is taken. He says he's going to meetings, or he says he's doing this, but I'll take the Alex now. He knows. In fact, he told me that he probably overdosed a couple of times, and he was blue, and then so he was brought back, by somebody. So I would tell somebody, if they feel like, yeah, but my situation's different, and I'm worse off than he ever was. I would say, honey, you're not, because he was. Well, I really think he was. If he wasn't dead, he was mighty close to it a couple times, and heroin addiction. They're dropping like flies up in the Birmingham area. So it was just a matter of time. It really was. So, is there hope? Yeah, there's hope. My desire for somebody that's listening that says, I want to believe you. I sure wish you were right. Then I would just say, from my personal experience, my boy was dead and now he's alive, and different than in the past. He could be doing anything now and be clean, and I feel like he'll be that way a month from now, and 6 months from now, 6 years from now. I believe that with all my heart. I had to convince myself of that before, but now I believe it, and it's not because I just want to. I can just see it. I can tell it. I can hear it. I can hear it in how he acts and what he says. And let me say this: a friend of mine said, "Yeah, but he's working there and he's around his mentor, so therefore, he's protected. It's almost like he's in a NA meeting every day." And I told him, and I believe with all my heart, no, he could be homeless in Pensacola and stay clean. And that's what I believe.